You're tuning in to 15 minutes of VNA News Bulletin. I'm Vĩ Hằng from Hanoi with the major stories.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc meets voters in Ho Chi Minh City. Ensuring election campaigns are in line with regulations. And later on, aviation sector steps up pandemic prevention efforts.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and other candidates running for seats in the 15th National Assembly of Ho Chi Minh City's constituency number 10 on May 9th and 10th attended meetings with local voters in Củ Chi and Hóc Môn districts.
The constituency number 10 has 5 candidates. In presenting his program of action, if he is elected to the 15th National Assembly, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc pledged to do his best to serve the country and the voters at the constituency. The focus of Phúc action plan is to fulfill the responsibility of a representative of the people, including keeping close contact with the people and listening to their aspirations in order to promptly report to the legislature and competent agencies. The state leader vowed to push the implementation of the city's 4 development programs, especially technological transfer, labor and employment. Voters suggested the candidates work to attract more capital to the city for job generation and promote high-tech and service projects, particularly infrastructure, such as ring roads. Receiving religious dignitaries, monks and priests in Hóc Môn district of Ho Chi Minh City on May 10 after a meeting with local voters, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc recognized and lauded the contributions made by religions to the district's development. He affirmed that the state always respects people's right to belief and religious freedom, which is protected by the law. The President asked the local administration to work harder to care for the material and spiritual lives of religious practitioners and expressed his hope that all religions in Hóc Môn district will continue to stay united and encourage followers to live a good life and follow a beautiful religion and engage further in local socio-economic development. In the afternoon the same day, Phúc met voters in Brigade 3107 based in Hóc Môn district.
The National Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control convened in Hanoi on May 10th in response to the complicated developments of the pandemic. Experts at the meeting said, although outbreaks have been recorded in many localities, the sources of contagion are basically under control. Strictly following the Ministry of Health's 5K message and virus screening will help stop the local transmission of COVID-19 in Vietnam. Associate Professor Dr. Chen Đắc Phu, Senior Advisor at the Public Health Emergency Operations Centers, reported 4 current major pandemic clusters in the country: Central Da Nang City, Northern Yên Bai Province, and the K Hospital and the National Hospital for Tropical Diseases, both in Hanoi, plus any hotspots in the Northern Province of Hải Dương. At the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam, head of the committee, urged localities that are yet to report any COVID-19 cases to remain vigilant and maintain close supervision. Vietnam will not complete mass vaccinations by the year-end, according to the Deputy Prime Minister. So it is necessary to strictly follow the 5K message, especially mask wearing. He ordered a closer watch on the border areas and people under quarantine to quickly detect cases through contact tracing as well as regular screen testing. Dam called on people to raise their sense of responsibility in the pandemic fight for the sake of the country and the community. The election of deputies to the 15th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels for the 2021-2026 tenure is fast approaching. Meetings between voters and candidates are being held as the latter exercise their right to campaign and preside over meetings with voters. In this regard, the organization of election campaigns in accordance with regulations is supervised by the Vietnam Fatherland Front and election commissions at all levels. The following is from Ho Chi Minh City.
Attending a meeting with 5 candidates in the 15th National Assembly election, voters in the 3 wards of Bến Tre, Tân Định and Da Cao in District 1 heard presentations on the action plans and can be confident when casting their votes.
When candidates make presentations directly to us, it is easier to evaluate the action plans and feel confident when voting.
And this is a meeting of voters in Tân Bình district with 5 candidates for the 15th National Assembly election. The candidates vary, but they are equal in presenting the action plans to voters.
Meetings between voters and candidates are being held to ensure that candidates are exercising their rights to election campaigns.
The election campaigns are guaranteed to be fair and in accordance with regulations and are supervised by the Fatherland Front and election committees at all levels. Voters are given a supervisory role and democratic rights through these meetings. Under regulations, candidates for election to the National Assembly can hold at least 10 meetings with voters, while candidates for the city's People's Council can hold at least 5. Through these forums, candidates gain more experience to complete the action programs, and voters can feel more confident in voting for those who deserve to be representatives of the people for the sake of the people and the nation.
The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has issued an urgent dispatch asking its unions to seriously follow COVID-19 prevention and control measures. Instances of neglected or responsible activities, as well as improper implementation of regulations and directions on pandemic prevention and control, will be strictly handled in line with law. The agency requested the implementation of the Ministry of Health's message: face masks, disinfectants, distancing, no gatherings, and health declarations. Frequent monitoring of pandemic prevention measures at airports, strict punishment of violations, and the quarantining of flight crews under regulations were also ordered. Airlines were recommended to refuse transporting people with no health declarations and not following safety regulations. The Hải Dương Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is cooperating alongside the Vietnam Trade Promotion Agency in order to conduct procedures aimed at bringing Hải Dương lychees to 4 e-commerce platforms. The schedule is for Hải Dương lychees to go on official sales from May 18th through 4 e-commerce platforms, including Alibaba.com, Volso.vn, Sendao.vn, and Lazada.vn. This will also be the first year that the locality has deployed the consumption of lychees through e-commerce flows. In order to improve the quality of lychees export, Hải Dương Province has given priority to initiating training courses on technological transfer to farmers and conducting strict surveillance over planting areas in an effort to improve the product quality, while simultaneously boosting trade promotional activities. Hải Dương Province is home to a lychee growing area spanning 9,186 hectares, of which 1,000 hectares are certified in line with VietGAP standards, while 520 hectares of lychees have been grown in line with global GAP standards. More than $1 billion was spent on importing over 49,000 completely built up or CBU vehicles in the 4 months of 2021 in Vietnam, a surge of over 55% in volume and 57% in value over the same period last year, the General Statistics Office has reported. In April alone, 14,000 automobiles worth $292 million were imported. However, the import turnover of CBU vehicles on April declined against the previous month. In the first quarter of 2021, more than 35,000 cars worth $770 million were imported, up 31% in volume and 35% in value against the same period last year. Industry insiders said these figures could be seen as a positive signal as the local car market continues to struggle with the impact of COVID-19. A report from the Vietnam Automobile Manufacturers Association revealed that the total sales figure in the domestic automobile market in the first quarter of this year reached 70,925 units, or a year-on-year increase of 36%. Leading economic experts forecast an optimistic growth outlook for Vietnam in 2021, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, as key indexes show that the economy is bouncing back well and showing an optimistic trend.
In the first 4 months of this year, total retail sales of goods and consumer service revenue topped over $73 billion, up 10% year-on-year, while exports were estimated at nearly $104 billion, rising 28.3%. Nearly 44,200 new enterprises were established during the 4 months, registering over $207 billion and over 340,000 employees, up 7.8% from a year earlier. According to experts, the economy is forecast to expand by 6.7% in 2021, with industry is predicted to go up 9.5% and the services sector 6%. Meanwhile, trade will remain strong this year thanks to export and import activities with the U.S. and China, two major trading partners of Vietnam. The country's participation in 15 free trade agreements with most of the developed economies in the world will also fuel exports even more.
The government has asked the Ministry of Industry and Trade to complete the 2021-2030 Energy Development Plan and submit it by mid-June this year.
It has also tasked the ministry with evaluating more carefully the capability of the national grid to prevent the problem of energy oversupply and make needed changes to the proposed Power Development Master Plan. The Electricity of Vietnam has proposed that the plan provide more specifics on the ratio of electricity imports and the imports of liquefied natural gas and coal. For its part, oil and gas giant Petro-Vietnam has proposed that the plan includes a large-scale planning for liquefied natural gas plants and position them near existing ports. The draft master plan projects a price tag of $320 billion for Vietnam to develop the country's energy sector for the 2021 to 2045 period. It forecasts an average annual growth rate of 8.6% in 2021 to 2025 and 7.2% in 2026 to 2030.
A temple worshipping female general Lê Chân, who followed the Chung sisters in an uprising against Han Chinese invaders in the year 40 AD, is a renowned tourist destination for pilgrims to the northern province of Hà. Join us to take a closer look.
The temple worshipping late female general Lê Chân is at the foot of Ông Voi or Elephant Mountain and faces the Ngan River. The location is said to have been her military base, where she gathered soldiers to avenge the Chung sisters' quelled uprising against Han Chinese invaders. Though her effort failed, she and her soldiers has fought bravely. She then killed herself to salvage her pride. Her chivalry and patriotism moved the hearts of local people, and they built a temple in her honor.
Local people built this temple a long time ago in memory of General Lê Chân. She and the Chung sisters protected the nation during these early days, so we feel grateful. The temple is small but attracts a lot of pilgrims around the country.
A festival commemorating General Lê Chân takes place from the 12th to 14th day of the 7th lunar month every year, featuring activities such as a palanquin procession, incense offering rituals, and folk games, among others. It was suspended last year because of the pandemic. The temple underwent a comprehensive restoration in 2006 under a plan by local authorities to preserve local relic sites.
Hà is rich in historical values and home to many relic sites, so boasts huge potential to develop spiritual tourism.
Visitors to Lê Chân Temple can not only look back on the country's proud history, but also take a break from the hustle and bustle of daily life and spend time amid the breathtaking surrounding scenery.
And that has wrapped up our daily bulletin. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.